Hey there and welcome back. If you want to give me a thumbs up if you're back. Right. But I need to reshare my screen. I got kicked off of during the break. So all right, can everybody see making an evaluation plan and only making an evaluation plan?
Yes, Ashley.
Yes, perfect. All right. Well, Liz, we will turn this back to you for making an evaluation plan, and then I will describe the activity.
Thank you. It won't take very long. We offer templates for evaluation plans every year. Your local evaluator is required to lead the creation of a brief evaluation plan that is related to your scope of work. We tried to make a template that is very kind of easy and to the point. People can write evaluation plans that are quite long and involved, but it's kind of up to you and your evaluator how you wish to do that. So, you know, when you make an evaluation plan, you first want to identify that outcome you wish to reach. And as we talked about, those outcomes are usually for OSAP programs, substance use, consumption, or consequence related. And then identify how you will measure that outcome. And then identify those intervening variables that are research-based or contributing factors that are specific to your community. As Dave mentioned, this is also complemented. I can't write an evaluation plan without looking at a logic model at the same time. And I find it funny that I say that because when I was first introduced to logic models, I thought they were very illogical. So, but they are very good at understanding your comprehensive approach to addressing substance use in your community. Identify strategies and corresponding benchmarks and activities. And so typically in OSAP language, our strategies are those strategies, R4A, et cetera, that are in your scope of work. And then the corresponding benchmarks and activities, those are also identified through those the WISE document benchmark indicators. So in a lot of ways, it's very well set up for you in the OSAP system. And you can also do this on your own, in your own private life, if you wish to as well, and do it for other kinds of programming. So you will track and measure those strategies and benchmarks as you achieve them. So next slide. So an example here is there it is. So so as we mentioned, here's our OSAP design, the goal, the objectives. Can you actually fill out the entire slide? Yeah, thank you. Oh, there we go. So I like to read this kind of laterally. So if you start with the goals and the objectives, right? You have your goal, your SMART goal and your SMART objective. Then you have, this is actually kind of asking you, where are you going? Then our example here today is about becoming a pianist. So that is your goal. You want to become a pianist. So one of the objectives to reach that goal is learning how to play the piano. Pretty straightforward here. The strategy and the benchmarks and activities are about how are you going to get there. So one of the strategies that you would do in order to learn how to play the piano would be to take piano lessons so that you can eventually become what you would consider to be a pianist. Those benchmarks and activities would be like to find an instructor, adjust your schedule, practice according to the instructor's guidance, you know, practice X hours a day, etc. So you would come up with those benchmarks and activities that are related to taking the piano lessons. I hope we're trying to kind of keep those benchmarks, think about those benchmarks and activities as they relate to the particular strategy that you're working on. Then the indicators here are, once again, as we mentioned before, it's kind of the thing that that lets you know that you've actually been able to achieve your goal. So a goal indicator, how do we know we got there? You're able to perform piano for others. That could be the indicator that suggests that you have achieved your goal, or one indicator. Your objective indicator for that one would be to play a piano song from memory. And that you would have perhaps learned that from taking your piano lessons from your strategy. Those process measures that are related to this is once again like the 1, 2, and 3 here in the middle, goal indicators, objective indicators, process measures. That's kind of where you're getting into identifying concretely things that you have done or achieved in order to meet that goal. So how many classes did you take? How many hours of classes in practice? And then how many songs learned? And so if we're thinking about following the SPIF here, what do we do when we get there, right? So you're walking through the model, you're thinking about assessment capacity, and this is in relation to playing the piano. What are your strengths? And if you've achieved your goal, like maybe you want to join an ensemble and expand your capacity. So you've become a pianist, you've met your goal. What are your next steps? Maybe you want to join a jazz band. So then you would reassess if you're not meeting your goals, though, and you're assessing your strength. Maybe you need to reassess the genre of music. Maybe jazz is not your thing. Maybe you like Bach. So think about that and then determine where you can make improvements. Maybe you need to practice more. Maybe you need a different teacher. Maybe you need to have group lessons. So those are kind of, once again, that's thinking about capacity, right? Moving through the process. Then you may want to decide if you need more different types of courses, a different instructor, decide if you need to pick up another instrument, if just piano is not working for you, but you still want to be a musician. So you're adjusting the process as you go. So this is just kind of an idea about like how evaluation works into your planning process and how, hopefully you've been able to appreciate the fact that, evaluation does not stop once you meet the goal, and meeting or not meeting the goal is not necessarily the point. It's about the whole point is really in the process. So with that said, and I know that Ashley also said that people have questions, please feel free to ask. I think you can move us into the last activity, Ashley.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. I really like how you made a reference to, you can also use this in your personal life as well, setting goals, also thinking about, I've been thinking a lot lately about just, working with, the communities that I work with, helping them identify and set goals like this as well. So yeah, I think that there's just a lot of uses for this process.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Ashley. That I think that's why we intentionally chose to play the piano example, is to move us back from the world of substance use. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, here's kind of the final question and what we're going to do. So we'll break out into groups. There is an Office, it's, I think I said it was a Google form. It's actually on Office. So I am going to stop. I tell you what, I'll just show you what it looks like by stopping the share here. And going to that actual, and then I'll share what it looks like. So I'll drop, or actually maybe it might be easier for me. I'll just drop it in the chat. Okay, let me reshare what this looks like. So going to the link, you will find this form, and that you can fill out. Multiple people can fill this out for, you only need to put one person's email, but let's say 4 of you work on it together, just put all of your names on this line. Again, the role, the county. It would be great if there's people here that are also from your county or serve your community or a similar community, just to kind of get together with those. If you don't have anyone like that, if you just want to stay on the line and we can help you identify that, or, we can help you work through it by yourself. Either, you can do it alone, you can do it together. And so, as you go through this, it will guide some questions. Let me just see if it'll let me go. So, it's asking you about the program goals for the year, the SMART objectives. So if you're working with someone from a different community, you'll just choose one of your 2 communities. The point really is to go through the process that we talked about during the training. And, give you a chance. This does not have to be long. We intend this to take you no longer till the top of the hour. That's the time you have allotted for training. Again, this is not something that OSAP will see. It's just, and it can even be something that you kind of make up, although it might just be easier to kind of look at your communities, one example from your own community. And so you'll just go through and answer these questions. And then when you're done, you'll submit it and it will come to us, and we'll check it just to make sure that there's nothing in there that, we need to connect with you about. But generally, this is a process-oriented exercise. We're just looking for you to apply what you've learned right after you learned it. And also, in an environment where we will also be here to support you. And if you're stuck, we'll be on this main line here. So I will set up some breakout rooms if you prefer. If you've already talked with somebody and you prefer to work with someone, and let's say, you use Teams or you have your own, you don't have to stay here. Just know that I will be here until I'll be here to 12. And if you have any questions, just log back in and you'll just submit it when you're done. And that's how you'll get credit for the training. So, but I will set up breakout groups if anybody would like them. And then you could just tell me who you want in the breakout group. Does that make sense? Any questions about the activity?
Do we submit as one group? Because I have myself, Eloise, and Pius.
Yeah, that's fine. Just put everybody's name on it, and and we'll see that. We also have the attendance, so you'll get credit for being here. But it makes sense if the 3 of you want to work together to just put all 3 of your first names on it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great. Any other questions?
Yes, so the
form. Sorry, Angelica.
yes, I was just gonna say the groups. You mean people that is in our own group, or rural and tribal groups, or how?
So if there's someone from your community group, like your OSAP funded prevention community group, or if not, there may be someone who does work that's similar to you. And if you don't know, if none of those people happen to be on this call and you want to work with someone, just stay on the line and we'll see who we can pair you with.
Okay, I'll send that link.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And I am looking. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. All right. And if you already have your group and you want to communicate on a different platform, you are free to go. We thank you so much for being part.
The links you guys are sending are not working. It keeps saying this form doesn't exist.
Okay. Okay. That's strange because I just showed it. Let's see. Let's try this again.
Yes, he says that this form doesn't exist.
Okay. Let me, because it's weird. I literally just demoed it. Okay. Do you mind somebody trying this last link I put on there? I think it's the same.
It says the same thing.
Same thing.
Let me try it again. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Try again if you don't mind. I did get it to pop up with that second link.
I got it.
Okay, great. Also, these slides will be available on nmprevention.org. And if you want them, you can just reach out to us. We're happy to send you a copy of them. At the end of this presentation, there's some other additional resources if you'd like to read more about these topics. All right. Who would like for me to set up a room for them?
Me, Angelica.
Okay.
This is Josephine Vienna. I would like to join Angelica.
Okay, great.
So I leave this one open or I close it and open it when I'm in my group?
When you go in your group, if you have a question, you can contact us directly through that, or you can end being in that group and it will put you back in this main room, just like we did for the activities.
Okay.
Okay, so
Since you and Josephine are still with CHI, but you're in two different counties, if you want, you both can work on two separate documents since you're serving two different counties.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
either one. Okay, so I have Angelica's group. And then you'll have an opportunity to join them in just a minute. Any other groups I can set up for folks?
Could you put Aida and I in a group?
Of course. Okay, other groups?
I could be in somebody's group. I don't know who's.